Most people spend their entire careers hiding their weaknesses. They're doing the exact opposite of what the research suggests. There is a psychological effect, studied for decades, that shows something surprising. Your flaws don't always hurt you. Sometimes, they make you more powerful than perfection ever could. It's called the Pratfall Effect, and the top 1% understand how to use it. In 1966, Harvard psychologist Elliot Aronson ran an experiment that produced one of the most surprising findings in social psychology. He recorded an actor answering a series of difficult trivia questions. The actor was clearly intelligent. He answered 92% correctly. Then Aronson created a second version of the recording. Everything was identical, except at the end, the actor accidentally spilled a cup of coffee on himself. Participants watched one of the two versions. Then they rated how likable the actor was. The result? The actor who spilled the coffee was rated more likable. Not equally likable, more. The mistake made him seem more relatable, more human, and more trustworthy. Aronson called this the Pratfall Effect, and the idea has been studied for decades. Perfection can create distance. A small, authentic flaw can create connection. So why does this happen, and how can you use it? Mechanism 1. The relatability paradox. Here's the psychology. When someone appears completely flawless, perfect credentials, perfect presentation, perfect answers, the brain doesn't always respond with admiration. Sometimes, it responds with distance. This connects to what psychologists call social comparison theory. When you appear perfect, the other person naturally compares themselves to you. And if they feel like they don't measure up, that creates discomfort. They may become more skeptical. They may look harder for your flaws, and they may trust you less. They won't consciously think, I dislike this person because they make me feel inadequate. But their behavior can change. Now imagine you show a small, authentic imperfection. You mention a mistake you made. You admit something you struggled with. You acknowledge something you're still learning. Suddenly, you're no longer above them. You're beside them. And that changes the relationship. The pratfall effect isn't about looking weak. It's about removing the barrier that perfection creates. Most professionals think vulnerability is a risk. Sometimes, the bigger risk is appearing flawless. So here's your first move. In your next presentation, pitch, or important conversation, share one authentic limitation. Not a fake humble brag, a real one. I struggled with this at first. I got this wrong the first time. This is something I'm still working on. One honest sentence can make you feel more human, and everything you say afterward can carry more weight. Mechanism 2, the trust through disclosure loop. Here's where it gets interesting. Showing a genuine vulnerability doesn't just make you more relatable. It can encourage the other person to open up too. Psychologists have studied this through research on interpersonal disclosure and vulnerability. When you share something real, a mistake, a limitation, a moment of uncertainty, you signal that it's safe for the other person to do the same. And that can create a cycle. You disclose, they feel safer. They disclose, you become more open, and trust begins to develop. The conversation changes. It goes from transactional to relational. This is why vulnerability can be powerful in negotiations, leadership, and important conversations. Not because vulnerability is weakness, but because it can lower people's guard. So here's your second move. After sharing one authentic limitation, pause. Don't immediately explain it away. Don't fill the silence. Let the moment breathe. Give the other person space to respond. That exchange, that's where trust begins. Mechanism 3, the imperfection competence multiplier. Now here's the most important part. The pratfall effect doesn't work the same way for everyone. The person needs to be clearly competent first. If you're already performing poorly, showing another flaw doesn't make you more relatable. It simply confirms what people already think. But when you're clearly competent and then show one authentic imperfection, something changes. The brain can interpret it as, this person is clearly capable and they're not pretending to be perfect. The flaw becomes evidence of authenticity, and once competence has been established, authenticity becomes incredibly persuasive. That's why the sequence matters. It's not be vulnerable all the time. It's establish competence, then show one authentic vulnerability. Competence first, flaw second. Trust multiplied. So here's your third move. Before an important interaction, identify the one thing you want to be known for, your core strength, your area of expertise. Lead with that. Establish your competence. Then, show one authentic limitation, the bigger picture. Think about what most professionals do. They spend their careers building a fortress of perfection around themselves. They polish every answer, hide every mistake, hide every uncertainty, and they believe every crack makes them look weaker. But sometimes, the fortress is the problem. A single authentic crack, in the right place and at the right time, can make the entire structure feel more credible. Not despite the imperfection, because of it. Perfection can create distance. A genuine imperfection can create connection. And connection is what builds trust. It's what moves careers, closes deals, and strengthens relationships. So here's the framework. Mechanism 1, relatability. Open with one authentic limitation. Drop the barrier before they build it themselves. Mechanism 2, disclosure reciprocity. After you disclose, pause. Let the silence do some of the work. Trust is built through the exchange, not the performance. Mechanism 3, the multiplier. Competence first, flaw second. Never reverse the order. The sequence matters. 3 mechanisms, 3 moves, 1 framework. The thing you've been trying to hide your entire career, that one authentic imperfection, may not be your weakness. It may be your advantage. Go use it.